The moon hung high in the night sky, its pale light casting an eerie glow over the beleaguered refugee camp, hosted on the T'au World of Refugea. I huddled with my fellow Gue'vesa Auxiliaries, clutching my pulse rifle tightly as we braced for another night of vigilance amidst the mundane boredom. While my main role involved enforcing curfew regulations and maintaining order among the young ones, I couldn't shake the feeling that something far more sinister was lurking in the shadows. As the air settled over the camp, a suffocating silence enveloped us. The distant sounds of chaos and anguished cries seemed to grow louder. I reached for the communication device on my shoulder, activating it to establish a connection with the T'au base. Static crackled in my earpiece before a calm yet authoritative voice greeted me. "Firecast Command Post, this is Commander Almirón of the Gue'vesa, requesting a check-in and current status report," I spoke into the device, my voice laced with weariness and apprehension. A calm yet slightly synthesized voice, tinged with an otherworldly quality, emanated from the communication device. "Chasso Almirón, this is the command post. Good to hear from you. Proceed with your check-in and report." I took a deep breath, gathering my thoughts before speaking into the device. "Command post, we are currently holding our position in Sector B12, patrolling the designated zones and ensuring compliance with curfew regulations. So far, everything appears to be calm and orderly within our sector." "Understood, Chasso. Maintain your vigilance and continue with your duties. Remember, the greater good depends on our efforts," the synthesized voice responded, devoid of comfort or reassurance. "Affirmative, command post. We will remain vigilant and diligent in upholding our responsibilities. Any updates or new orders for our sector?" I inquired, my voice tinged with desperation. There was a brief pause before the voice on the other end responded. "Negative, Chasso. No new orders at this time. However, be advised that there have been reports of suspicious activities and possible cult presence in other camps. Stay alert and report any unusual occurrences immediately." "Copy that, command post. We will keep our eyes open, though the darkness seems to swallow everything." "Over and out," I uttered, a sense of impending doom settling upon me like a lead weight. I released the communication button and let out a sigh, a quiet "for the Emperor" escaping my lips. Despite the situation, a sense of unease settled in the pit of my stomach. The mention of the greater good sent a shiver down my spine, intensifying the discomfort that had been brewing within me. Joining the T'au had been my only option after I was abandoned by my own forces during the Damocles Crusade, a chapter of my life that still haunted my thoughts. I couldn't shake the feeling that by aligning with the T'au, I was somehow betraying humanity. But circumstances had forced my hand. As I resumed my patrol, I couldn't help but wonder what secrets lay hidden within the confines of this seemingly safe haven. Little did I know that my role as a trooper enforcing curfew would soon pale in comparison to the challenges that awaited us. The fate of the camp, and perhaps the fate of Refugea itself, hung in the balance. Suddenly a deafening roar shattered the night stillness, sending shockwaves through the camp. Chaos and terror erupted as demonic creatures emerged from the shadows, their grotesque forms twisted and malformed. The air thickened with the stench of sulphur, and screams filled the air as refugees fled in panic. Demons had emerged from the warp, wreaking havoc within the camp's boundaries. We, the Gue'vesa Auxiliaries, were caught off guard, our training and discipline momentarily forgotten in the face of this otherworldly horror. Chaos reigned as the demons advanced, tearing through the camp with merciless fury, their malevolent presence infecting every corner. We fought back, unleashing a barrage of gunfire and pulse energy, but our efforts were nearly futile against these infernal creatures. Their unholy resilience and supernatural powers defied reason, and one by one our comrades fell before them. Outflanked, the demons had caught us off guard during our previous skirmish, overwhelming our meagre defences. With heavy casualties and wounded soldiers, I ordered, "All auxiliaries in Sector B, evacuate the refugees and tactically retreat." Realising the dire situation, our surviving troops rallied together, desperately retreating, seeking shelter among what remained of the terrified refugees. We could do nothing to stop the relentless onslaught of the demons as they closed in on the heart of the camp, their eyes gleaming with a hunger for destruction. It was a chaotic and harrowing retreat, with the screams of the damned echoing in our ears. As we regrouped at a safer distance, sending an escort with the trail of refugees to the city of Serenitas, chaos engulfed the camp, flames licking the night sky and cries of anguish echoing in the air. The Firecast was notified of the incursion, and I urgently called for reinforcements. Haze from the sun's dawn illuminated us. I stood among a larger force of T'au fire warriors, clad in sleek battlesuits. They stood tall and imposing. Human auxiliaries, glistening in T'au-inspired Imperial Guardsman armor, were armed to the teeth and ready to reclaim what was lost. But as we prepared to return to the refugee camp, news came over the crackling radio, painting a grim picture. Reports flooded in from other camps within Refugea, detailing uprisings and chaos spreading like wildfire. The cult's influence had permeated deeper than we could have ever imagined. An overwhelming sense of urgency enveloped the command post operator's voice as he relayed the grim news. We were being sent back into the heart of the camp. We auxiliaries went ahead of the fire warriors to eliminate the cultists and the demonic presence. Hope mingled with dread within me as we mustered our strength and resolved to face the growing darkness head-on. Little did we know that even greater horrors awaited us. As we made our way through the labyrinthine paths of the camp, the stench of decay and desperation grew stronger. The flickering lights offered glimpses of the carnage that had unfolded in our absence. Buildings lay in ruins, bodies of both T'au and human civilians strewn across the ground, their lives snuffed out by the merciless onslaught of chaos. Suddenly, an eerie silence descended upon the camp, broken only by the distant sounds of battle. We knew we had arrived at the epicenter of the cult's malevolence. With grim determination, we pushed forward, navigating the war-torn streets with caution. The air was thick with the scent of death and the echoes of our own footsteps. But as we reached the center, our hearts sank. Chaos Marines stood before us, clad in twisted armor, their eyes glowing with unholy fervor. They sneered, their voices distorted by the echoes of the warp. It was clear that they had been waiting for us, knowing that we would return to confront them. A fierce battle ensued, the clash of blades and the crackle of gunfire echoing through the ruined camp. We fought with all our might, unleashing a barrage of pulse-fire and grenades upon the heretics. But their twisted resilience and dark powers proved formidable, and our forces dwindled with each passing moment. As the battle raged on, the camp became a swirling vortex of bloodshed and desperation. The Chaos Marines pressed forward with relentless fury, their malevolent laughter piercing through the screams of the dying. The odds were against us, and it seemed that all was lost. Amidst the chaos and the rage of battle, our communications officer rushed over, urgency etched on their face. They quickly relayed the distressing news that echoed through the camp, spreading like wildfire among the T'au firecasts and human auxiliaries. "Attention, everyone! We've just received a transmission from command," the communications officer called out, their voice carrying a sense of urgency. "The cities surrounding the refugee camps are under siege. The enemy forces have overwhelmed our defenses, and a general retreat has been ordered." Gasps and murmurs filled the air as the weight of the news settled upon us. The realization hit hard. A wave of mixed emotions swept through the combined force of T'au and humans. We had believed our fight in the camp was significant, a battle to protect the refugees and reclaim our sanctuary. But now we understood the truth, that our struggle here was just a small part of a planet-wide catastrophe. Bitterness and frustration welled up within me as I fought, knowing that the sacrifices we were making might be in vain. Yet we pressed on, driven by a flickering glimmer of hope that we could still make a difference, that we could save Serenitas. T'au fire warriors and Gue'vesa Auxiliaries exchanged worried glances, a silent acknowledgement of the dire situation. The gravity of the moment bonded us together, transcending the differences in our races and backgrounds. "We must hold strong and regroup," one of the T'au firecasts declared, their voice filled with determination. "The safety of Serenitas and the human refugees depends on us. We have faced challenges before, and we will overcome this as well for the greater good." An auxiliary stepped forward, their voice filled with conviction. "We won't let them take our homes and our people without a fight. We stand together, T'au and humans, as one force against the darkness for the greater good." Nods of agreement rippled through the ranks, a silent affirmation of our collective resolve. Though the news of the general retreat weighed heavily upon us, it also ignited a fierce determination within our hearts. We would not let chaos and terror reign unchallenged. With a heavy heart, we began the strategic withdrawal from the camp. We worked side by side, forming a defensive perimeter to protect the retreat. My squad moved swiftly but cautiously, ensuring that every soldier had a chance to escape the encroaching horrors. The demons' howls and the cultists' chants echoed through the morning as we fought to hold our ground. The air crackled with energy, tainted by the malevolence that had consumed our sanctuary. Despite the chaos and the overwhelming odds, our combined force pushed forward, buying precious time for the vulnerable to flee. With each step, we inched closer to the camp's edge, our determination burning brighter than ever. Finally, we reached the outskirts of the camp, where the city's evacuation shuttles awaited. The last of the troopers rushed aboard, guided by the unwavering T'au battlesuits. We turned to face the oncoming enemy. With gritted teeth and weapons at the ready, we made our stand. The demons closed in, their grotesque forms twisting reality itself. But we stood firm, unyielding in our resolve to protect the fleeing shuttles. The clash was fierce and brutal, T'au pulse rifles and human lasguns blazing against the unholy creatures. Despite their terrifying power, we fought with unwavering determination, knowing that our sacrifice was not in vain. As the last ship lifted off, carrying the remnants of our assault force to Serenitas, we made our retreat on foot. We fell back step by step, engaging in a fighting withdrawal to join the larger force assembling at Serenitas, waiting for the cultists and their demonic allies to besiege them. In the darkness of the night, we finally made it. We were safe for now as we regrouped with our comrades in arms at Serenitas, joining a greater army determined to face the encroaching chaos head-on. Our hearts were heavy, but our spirits burned with resilience, ready to fight for the survival of Refugea and all who called it home.